Socham tapas titiksham cha. Socham tapas titiksham cha. Monam swadhyayam arjavam. Monam swadhyayam arjavam. Brahmacharyam ahingsam cha. Brahmacharyam ahingsam cha. Samatvam dvanda samgyayoho. Samatvam dvanda samgyayoho. Socham, cleanliness. Tapa, austerity. Titiksham, tolerance. Cha and monam, silence. Swadhyayam, study of the Vedas. Arjavam, simplicity. Brahmacharyam, celibacy. Ahingsam, non-violence. Cha and samatvam, equanimity. Dvanda samgyayo, in situations perceived in terms of duality. To serve the spiritual master, the disciple should learn cleanliness, austerity, tolerance, silence, study of Vedic knowledge, simplicity, celibacy, non-violence, and equanimity in the face of material dualities such as heat and cold, happiness and distress. So why don't we repeat? To serve the spiritual master. You can repeat. The disciple should learn cleanliness, austerity, tolerance, silence, study of Vedic knowledge, simplicity, celibacy, non-violence, non-violence, and equanimity in the face of material dualities, such as heat and cold, happiness and distress. Happiness and distress. Purport. Socham, or cleanliness, refers to both internal and external purity. One should remain externally clean by bathing with soap and water at least once, if possible, 3 times. One is considered internally pure when he is free from the pollution of false pride and egotism. You know, it's interesting. Often Prabhupada uses the word false pride. He doesn't use the word pride. Somebody's proud, but he says falsely proud. Like, there is real pride. I'm proud to be a devotee of Krishna. I'm proud to be a servant of Prabhupada. I'm proud that I can chant Hare Krishna. I have the Maha Mantra, so there is real pride. There has to be real pride if there's false pride, right? So you know, in secular society, you'll just talk about pride, but here Prabhupada's talking about false pride. So there's real pride. So it's not wrong to be proud if you're proud of the right thing. I'm proud of I'm a disciple of Prabhupada. I'm proud to be his disciple. I'm a servant of Prabhupada. I'm proud to be a servant, right? I'm proud to have the honor to serve Lord Chaitanya's mission. So that pride is not from egotism. That pride comes from humility. Because we are humbled by the opportunity to serve. So that pride is humble pride. Or, if you want to give a generic definition, anything which brings you into Krishna consciousness, which brings you closer to Krishna, be it pride, be it envy, be it jealousy, be it anger, anything, it's not material. Right? Even if you're envious, Prabhupada said, if you're envious of someone, indirectly that means you're appreciating them. I'm envious of that person. What are you envious of? Well, he's got something I don't have. Okay, so you're actually appreciating that he has something you want. So he said you can turn it around. So why don't you, he has more, you can serve him, or you can appreciate him. So then even envy can become a source of helping you in Krishna consciousness, or you recognize you're envious of someone, and then you could become inspired to be like that person. So then that envy becomes a source of your inspiration in Krishna consciousness, and then it is not material. So false pride means to be proud of something that's not yours to be proud of. I'm so intelligent. And Krishna can take that intelligence away. Or he can give it, Dadami Bhuti Yogam Tam. Or he can cover it. Avritam Jnana. In Bhagavad Gita, this is Avritam Jnana Etena. Jnanino Nityavadina. The knowledge is covered by lust. So by lust it's covered. And by Tesham Satata Yuktanam Vajatam Apati Purvakam. By bhakti and love, the Dhammi Buddhi Yogam Tam, Krishna gives it. So if you have intelligence, you can be super intelligent or super qualified in any area and be humble, because you know it's a gift. And if you think it's yours, you're in trouble. Then it's not yours, you're proud of it, and it's not yours. Just like, let's say some devotee picks us up to go somewhere, and he picks us up in a brand new, like the best car you could get in Mauritius, like Chaitaguru has a Land Rover, I think, or he has something, probably, the best car you can get, or one of the best. Does he have a Land Rover? He has a Land Rover. So you're with Chaitaguru and you're sitting in his Land Rover, and you don't even have a car. All you have is a bicycle. But now you're sitting in the car and you're thinking, well, people are looking at me and they must think I'm important. I'm special, because look at how many people drive around in Land Rovers. And if I know someone has a Land Rover, I must be, I'm special, I must be rich. And so that's false pride, right? 'Cause it's not, you have nothing to be proud of. It's not your car, and you're lucky you're getting a ride. Right? Maybe he took compassion on you to give you a ride. So Krishna says, when I take compassion, then I illuminate. So a devotee always takes it as, whatever I have, whatever ability I have, that is Krishna giving it to me, and he'll give it because I can use it. If I can't use it in his service, he could take it away. Or if I become proud, he could take it away. So we have that awareness. He could take it away, right? Any moment. That's humility. So false pride means you think that ability is yours, you become proud of it, but it's not yours, so it's false. Your boss gives you money and says, go deposit in the bank, and you're walking around with like 10 million rupees. You think, I'm rich. I have 10 million rupees in my pocket. I'm one of the richest people in Mauritius. No, you're not rich, you're just carrying the money. So we carry qualities, we carry intelligence, we carry abilities that Krishna gives us for his service. And if you study how Prabhupada processed the success of his movement, you'll see very clearly this is how he processed it. He didn't, what Prabhupada did was special in the history of the world. Unique, not special, unique, because nobody did what he did. So, if anyone has a reason to become proud, Prabhupada had it, right? The Prime Minister of Mauritius has a little reason to be proud, but there's more people in, big cities in America. A mayor is in a bigger position than the Prime Minister of Mauritius. It just seems big because he's a Prime Minister, but it's a small place. Cities in India have 20 million people, right? Mexico City's 30 million people. So you're the mayor of Mexico City. It's 30 times bigger than Mauritius. So they have, some reason to be proud. But look at Prabhupada. He really had a reason to be proud, right? And I was saying the other day in class that Prabhupada told his disciples, he said, you are doing so much to spread this movement. I'm not qualified to be your spiritual master. He said, I'm not qualified to be your leader. Prabhupada said, he said, you are actually doing everything. So of course, that was only Prabhupada's perception, and whatever we were able to do was only because of what Prabhupada gave us in terms of mercy and instruction and example, and the organization he set up. So whatever we were able to do was only because of Prabhupada, but he's not taking credit. So it's interesting to notice how Prabhupada processed his success and how we process our success, right? I mean, imagine, Haribo Ashalata. So, what time is it for you in Europe? 6.5 hours earlier? That's early in the morning. So, Prabhupada had he had every reason to become proud. Right? And another thing we saw in Prabhupada is he always said, Hare Krishna, Prabhupada always said, not said, Prabhupada always felt, that he wasn't doing it, because he would say, people tell me I've done something wonderful. And then he would say, I don't think I did anything wonderful. So why would Prabhupada say, I don't think I did anything wonderful? Because obviously, externally, he did something wonderful. So if you do something wonderful, but you say, I didn't, what does that mean? That means you're acknowledging that somebody else did something wonderful, and you were assisting them. So you don't get the credit. Oh, Prabhu, you did, this festival was wonderful. And you say, no, it was because all the devotees had helped me. So Prabhupada would say, I didn't do anything wonderful. Because he would say, it was all the grace of my spiritual master. And because I helped him, I did what he asked, he did it. Isn't that interesting? So he was always in the consciousness that whatever a success he achieves is not due to his personal qualification, but it's due to the empowerment or the gift or the kripa of Guru and Krishna. And that's why he never became proud. So what do we learn from that? We learn that if you don't think that way, you'll become proud. In the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada said in Kali Yuga, a pauper, you know what a pauper is? A pauper is a beggar, a street person. He has no money. If he gets 1 penny, 1 paisa, he becomes proud. So in the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes, in Kali Yuga, even a pauper is proud of his penny. Look I have a penny. The other paupers have no pennies, I have 1 penny. So now he's proud of his penny. So, unless we acknowledge that Krishna is giving us intelligence and ability, Guru, Prabhupada, it's all their mercy that's empowering us to be successful. If we don't think that way, we by nature are proud. We want to, by nature, get acknowledgement. That's our conditioned nature. So if you want acknowledgement, then you don't want to acknowledge where the power comes from. You want to acknowledge that you are the source of it. You are the cause. I studied hard, I'm successful. I practiced, now I'm good. That's true, but only with Krishna's blessings can you become good and can you be successful. So yes, you did study hard and you did apply yourself. But by His mercy you became good. Just applying yourself and studying without His mercy, you won't become good. It's not enough. I mean, your mind has to be able to work, to study. So what if Krishna pulled the plug out of your mind, turned it off? No. All your hard work will not help you, right? You will fail. So we have a story, it's a nice story, where the demigods had just been victorious in battle, and they were very proud. It was a grand victory. So Krishna came to them in disguise. They didn't know who He was. And so they went to greet Him, and so Agni came. And Krishna, they're looking at this person, and he looks special. They don't know who this person is. So they approach Him. Who are you? And Krishna, He didn't reveal Himself. And Krishna said, who are you? And Agni said, I am the fire god. I can burn up the whole world, just like that. So Krishna in disguise said, oh, I have a little blade of grass here. Could you burn it? Agni says, of course. And he tried to burn it, and he couldn't burn it. One blade of grass he couldn't burn. So Agni got bewildered, and he went back to the demigods. And they said, who is that person? He said, I don't know, but he's someone special. Say, Vayu, you go talk to him. So Vayu goes, introduces himself, I'm Vayu, the wind god, I can blow buildings over. Like Agni, very coming in a very proud way, having now been energized by their defeat of the demons, so they're feeling very proud. And I am Vayu, I can destroy with my wind anything. I can knock buildings flat, like cyclones. That's Vayu. The damage a cyclone does. So Krishna says, oh, I have a little straw here, could you move it? So he's Vayu, what's the problem of moving a straw? He couldn't. So Vayu went back and said, I don't know who he is. And the wife, one of the ladies, I'm not sure who it was, said, Uma said, don't you understand who this is? This is Krishna. And you became proud, and He came to humble you. Yes? So, there are many things to learn from this story, but one thing is that if we become proud, Krishna can take away our power to humble us, or He can make us do something foolish, say something foolish, if we become proud. And Krishna will do that because we need that, but we shouldn't put Him in a position where He has to do that. Right? Better you stay humble. Yes? So this story teaches us that Krishna doesn't like His devotees to become proud. And when they become proud, He will do something to cut their pride. Because pride gets in the way of the relationship. Just like even in our relationships. If somebody's proud, it's hard, it's difficult to have a good relationship, isn't it? You want to have a good relationship, you need someone who's more equal, not trying to show off and outdo you. That you won't want friends like that. So Krishna is the same. So when a devotee is proud, it harms the relationship, so Krishna doesn't like it. And either he'll remove himself from the relationship, or he'll do something to purify the devotee, or he'll do both. And so, what we feel as devotees, following the example of Prabhupada, is that Krishna can inspire, Krishna can give intelligence, Krishna can give ability, to the degree that we will not become proud of it, because then Krishna feels that I can trust you. Just like if I have a lot of money, if I give you a lot of money, that means I trust that you will spend it properly. Otherwise, I won't give it to you. You don't give a lot of money to an 8-year-old, but you send your son or daughter to a business school and they're competent to run a business, then you might say, okay, here, now I feel you're qualified and you'll be able to run the business properly. So Krishna is the same. That Krishna wants to give you millions of dollars in Shakti, or maybe even millions of rupees to use. And he wants to give you millions of rupees worth of talent and intelligence. But he's not going to give it if he knows you'll become proud. I'm a better devotee than you are. So we were just saying, imagine if you were able to accomplish what Prabhupada accomplished. Okay, well let's put it in a context of where we are right now. We're on the island of Mauritius, which Prabhupada said, because it's a small island and it's predominantly Hindu, and it's a Hindu government, it has potential to be a Krishna conscious country, or at least a very Krishna conscious place. So it's somewhat Krishna conscious now, but let's say you, by some Shakti you had, some ability to inspire people, you were the one who made a huge difference. To say, well, after, Vasish started preaching, all of a sudden, everything changed. He started these programs, these Pandal programs, and thousands of people were coming, and he's got, right now, thousands and thousands of people chanting japa, and those people are going out. And any village you go to, every month there's a Pandal program. And how many villages are there? 1,000 villages. And so, in every one of those villages, we're getting 100 people to chant japa. So every month there's another 100,000, whatever, or another 1,000 people, and so everybody recognizes, whether they like him or not, whether they're envious or proud or not, they have to recognize that before him, things were just going along as they were going, and now it just took off. Right? So, you imagine you're in that position. You're the one. It was like, it's going to be in the history books. The history of ISKCON Mauritius. When Vasish started this program, everything changed. And now he's got thousands and thousands of people see him as their Siksha Guru, etc., etc. Now, can Vasish do that and remain humble? Now you imagine what a challenge that would be, right? Nobody was able to do it. And he might even think, not even when Prabhupada came did he have this effect that I had. You could think like that, right? I did more than my spiritual master. Externally, Prabhupada did more. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta opened 64 temples, and only in India, Prabhupada opened, now unlimited temples. I'm not unlimited, but there's like 600 or so now. He opened 108, but he did something his guru didn't do. He preached. But he never thought, I've done better than my guru. He only thought, I did it by the mercy of my guru. Right? So, if Vasish can make thousands of people Krishna conscious, and he knows that due to some great fortune, Krishna has given him intelligence and ability to do that, then Krishna is going to continue to give him intelligence and ability. And he'll be more and more successful. But as soon as he thinks, look at me, I'm better than I'm better than Sriniketan, I'm better than Prabhu Arjuna, no one has done what I've done. What have they, and he starts thinking, what have they done? After all these years, they've been here since 1974. What have they done in comparison to what I was able to do in the last 5 years? If you're thinking like that, then you're finished. It's all over. Krishna doesn't want you, because now you can't help anybody. And you might say, but Prabhu, look at the Catholic Church. They're so big, they're so powerful. So isn't Krishna helping them? It's always confusing. One of the things we have to look at is the Shakti to make people Krishna conscious. You may externally be successful, but you're not actually making people Krishna conscious. You know what I mean? It's like you say, well, there's a big church. Yeah, but they're still eating meat. And, there's so many Shivalas, and they're still praying for money and health. And so you're not actually making them Krishna conscious. So it's not just external success in buildings and numbers, but it's actual, are you making people Krishna conscious? That's the empowerment, the Shakti. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, how do you understand who is a real Vaishnava? He said, you understand him because by his presence, he is like Chintamani, and he turns other people into devotees. That's how you know. So sometimes you'll see somebody may be successful externally because they're materially qualified, but they're not able to change people's hearts. Sometimes they actually can make people's hearts change, but change in a bad way. So then they're proud, and their followers are proud also. We've seen this also. Sometimes in the early days of the movement, there were some temples that were extremely successful, and the devotees in that temple were proud of their success. They thought they were better than everybody else. And the irony of that, which nobody caught, was that if you think you're better, you're always lower. As soon as you think you're better, that's a sign you're worse. You understand? If you think you're better, that means you're worse. Because if you were better, you would always think you're lower. You understand? I'm better than you, Prabhu. That means you're lower. You are, when you say I'm better, they're telling everybody that you're worse. Everybody knows it except you. You don't realize it, but that's what you're advertising, that you're proud. So Prabhupada said a Vaishnava is not proud. So now if I say I'm better than you, what kind of Vaishnava am I? As soon as I say I'm better than you, that means I'm lower. Because if I were actually better, what would I say? You are better. When you're actually advanced, then you'll say, you are better than me. I'm not doing anything. I was with Radhanath Swami last year in October. He has a project. It's an eco-village, 80 acres. Beautiful project. And we had taken a tour, about 20 people from America. Took them on tour of India, and so we spent 3 days at the eco-village. And by Krishna's mercy, there was a GBC meeting in Mumbai. So he was in Mumbai, and he had to go to the farm for a meeting, and that was right when we were there. So he stayed and waited for us, and he spent some time with us. And something very interesting happened. I don't know if you're aware of Radhanath Swami. He probably has 5,000 disciples and probably another 5,000 waiting, because he's such an amazing devotee. So many people are attracted to him. And he has this Chowpatty temple. He has the Pune temple. He started this Chowpatty project. He's also at Bhakti Center in New York. I heard they're just opened or opening or got some land for another temple. And really, I think one of the landmarks of their work is the preaching in the colleges, which has made so many students in India, highly qualified students, devotees. And he met Barack Obama, he preached in the parliament, he preached at Google, Harvard. He's meeting very important people. They're inviting him to his home. So we went there and we greeted him, and someone said something like, "This project is amazing, your service is, you've done so much." And he said, "I'm useless. I haven't done anything. What am I doing? I'm just useless." So said something like that. I'm just, the mercy of the Vaishnavas, I could do it. He was just, it's like, if anyone has something to be proud of, he does. Because he's done a lot. And as soon as someone tried to glorify me, he said, "What am I doing? I'm doing nothing." That's what he said. "What am I doing? I'm doing nothing." So again, why would he say that? Because he realizes that it's through the mercy of Krishna that everything's happening, through the hard work of his disciples. That is how he's successful. So when you're in that consciousness, you are safe. You are safe. And if you're not in that consciousness, you're in a very dangerous position. Because just like the story of the demigods, Krishna could, if he wants, take away all your Shakti. So you're Vayu, and you can't even blow a straw. You're Agni, and you can't even burn a straw. Isn't that amazing? So now, if we want to help other people, then we need Krishna's grace. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartana. You can't help someone unless you have Krishna Shakti. It's not your own Shakti, it's Krishna Shakti. And Krishna Shakti comes to you, through you, and out of you to another person, like you're holding an electronic wire and I touch you and we all get shocked. So Krishna Shakti. But I'm not touching the wire and I touch you, there's no shock. Then it's my Shakti. But my Shakti will not send you back to Godhead. Krishna Shakti will send you back to Godhead. So, one time I was at a lecture of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, it's interesting, Prabhupada said the movement, this Krishna conscious movement will spread to every town and village. It's interesting that Prabhupada would say that, because before Prabhupada came to America, as far as I know, nobody was preaching that Mahaprabhu's name will be heard in every town and village. Even though the verse is there, they weren't preaching that. They would, as I was told, they only related to that verse as kind of, how should we say, a statement to arouse the troops that, but they couldn't understand it. It didn't make sense within their context because it wasn't going around the world. They had tried to take Krishna consciousness to England. It failed. So there was no context to make sense of this verse. Right? And now Prabhupada's sitting and he's saying, this Krishna consciousness movement, now he's saying, this Krishna consciousness movement will spread around the world. And so it's interesting because Krishna revealed to Prabhupada that it's actually happening now. That prediction is coming true because of ISKCON. And Prabhupada didn't say it in a proud way, but he recognized it. And you can see in his books that he recognized. There had to be some point where Prabhupada recognized it because as far as I understand, it wasn't recognized in the beginning. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Maybe Prabhupada had the faith and he knew he was doing it, but I don't get the impression that in the beginning he really he knew, he wasn't completely aware if it would work or not. I mean, he had the vision, you could say, but Prabhupada talked to this man in New York and he gave him the vision. So that's there, but you could also say he wasn't sure if that vision would manifest. Right? So anyway, that wasn't the point I was making, but the point Prabhupada made was, that's a side point that it's interesting that Prabhupada, he saw, okay, it's happening. It's like Mahaprabhu revealed this is the movement that's making this prediction come true, which is amazing, to think about. So Prabhupada said, in light of that prediction, Prabhupada said, the movement will spread to every town and village, whether you're part of it, whether you're not part of it. And he said, with you or without you, it'll spread. He said, but if you stay, you'll get the credit. And so the way I took it is that Krishna will spread his movement, and he'll use people to spread it. So if you're around and you remain humble and Krishna conscious, then you get to be used. If you go, you won't get used. And who will Krishna use more? One who's more transparent, one whose heart is more pure, one who's more humble, one who's more willing. He'll use them more. And one who's more proud, Krishna will say, I can't use you. You're not usable. You just get into trouble and create problems for yourself, for everyone else, and for me. So the empowerment's going to go like the money goes to someone who can use it. So Krishna says, okay, I can trust you. So here, you're going to preach, and a lot of people are going to become devotees. And they're going to honor you. They're going to appreciate you. But I know you can handle it, so I'm going to send them to you. Here, we need to start a project. We need to do something. I trust you, so I'm going to give you people to help you, or financing to help you, or something. That's the way Krishna works. So, as long as we understand where the power comes from, then we can pray to Krishna, give me the power. Not because I want to outdo my god brothers to show them that I'm better because they think they're better. Not for that reason. But because I want to serve Krishna. That's the only reason. If you want to serve Krishna to prove that you're better than somebody else, Krishna's not going to be happy with that, and he's not going to give you much Shakti. But if you want to serve because you want to help others, and that's the only reason, then Krishna feels confident he can give you power because you won't misuse it. Right? That's just practical. So therefore, humility is foundational to being empowered to spread Krishna consciousness, because Krishna has to choose people. If the movement's going to spread to every town and village, somebody has to do it, right? Just like here, you can spread Krishna consciousness here in your town, wherever you are. Someone has to do it. It doesn't happen. It's like here in Mauritius, plants grow. They just grow because the land is so free. You don't even plant them and they're growing. Well, Krishna consciousness